is Tuesday, July 16th, approximately 4:03. The Personnel Human Services Committee will come to order. Roll call, please.
Ryder?
Here.
Lutz?
Here.
Krieger?
Yes.
Begic?
Here.
Kunin?
Excused.
Herrick?
Excused.
Duranta?
Here.
Warren.
Thank you. Public input. Anyone wishing to address personnel should do so at this time? Seeing none. Moving to petitions and communications from the Director of Administrative Services, Animal Control Department, changes of name. Craig.
Mr. Chair. If we could just back up a second.
Sure.
I'll approve the minutes as submitted.
I'm sorry. Is there support? Been moved, supported. All those in favor signify by the usual sign.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We have minutes. Craig.
Sir.
Under Animal Control Department, change name. Would you?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. So over at Animal Control, you know, we're looking to always better facility, better improve what we're doing. And one of the things that we mentioned and brought up was the possibility of a name change, removing the word control and going with something more appealing to the public and to really actually reflect what we're doing over there, which within the approved or in the provided document, it's something along the lines of what we were hoping to do, Bay County Animal Control or Bay County Animal Services and Adoption Center. Having that really be the focus and emphasis on what we're trying to do over there is adopt animals into forever homes. Felt that was an important piece to put in that name, and services encompasses a lot of various things that are provided over there that we do. Part of that is control, but it's not everything. So that's what led this to this meeting.
Thank you. Mr. Craig.
Resolution. Support.
It's been moved, supported. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by the usual sign.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, carried. From the Personnel Director and Vacancies, from the Department on Aging, a driver part-time and a KitchenAid part-time. What's your pleasure?
So moved. Support.
Then move supported. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by the usual sign.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, carried. From the Health Department, a type is Clerk 3. What is your pleasure?
So support.
Then move supported. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by the usual sign.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, carried. Health Officer, agreement with Dr. Patrick Cho. What is your pleasure?
So moved. Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by the usual sign.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, carried. From Region 7, Area Agency on Aging, multi-year plan for 2020 and 2022. What is your pleasure?
So moved. Support.
Then moved and supported. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by the usual sign. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, carried. From the Director of Recreations and Facilities, we have a presentation.
So I am going to talk to you guys today about the golf course, but first quickly I just wanted to recap what recreation is. Recreation is a service to our community. It is an increased quality of life for our residents, brings an economic value to our community, and it provides lifelong wellness for our citizens. And that's really important at the golf course. We have people that have been playing golf their whole lives. They're in their 60s or 70s or 80s and they're still playing daily. It's a social importance for our residents. It creates places for life lessons. Recreation promotes businesses to relocate, families to stay, and retention of younger generations. And studies show that quality parks and recreation are one of the top 3 reasons that businesses cite in relocation decisions. So we're going to talk about the golf course today. This is a beautiful picture, aerial view that our own Nick Page took. I am going to focus on what we do at the golf course, and Rochelle is going to come in afterwards and talk to you about the financials. So now that the audit is here and the books are closed for 2018, we'll be focusing on those numbers. So we open in April. Typically this year was April 24th. We'll be closing November 1st. What do we do at the golf course? We sell rounds of golf, right? Rounds of golf, carts, memberships. We have league play, golf outings. We host the annual county tournament. We take part in the Hallett Cup. We're home to 4 high school teams, Garber and Central, both boys and girls. We have youth camp. This is the second year, and it is growing rapidly. We have 30 kids this year, which is double from last year. We maintain the grounds of the golf course, and we maintain the equipment at the golf course. So who are we? We have Recreation Manager Dan Nearing here with us today. He is at the golf course 65% of the year, and 35% of the year he's at the Civic Arena. Our Green Superintendent is Jeremy LaPratte, and we have a part-time mechanic and spray tech, Wes. We have seasonal staff, pro shop attendants, starter rangers, cart attendants, and general laborers and equipment operators. So really our bread and butter is league play. We have leagues in the evenings, Monday through Thursday. We have leagues in the mornings, Monday through Friday. These are the men and women that come back every single week, and they typically play from Memorial Day to Labor Day. This year, because of the rain, they're going to extend into September. Hopefully most of them are interested in doing that. So we have 20 men's leagues with 582 players. We have 4 women's leagues with 76 players, and 2 co-ed leagues, 56 players. Golf outings are also a big, important part of our revenue. We have 25 outings this year, and we continue to gain outings every year. In 2018, we had 1,756 players participating in outings. A lot of times these are golfers, but sometimes a lot of these outings are fundraisers for various charities and nonprofits, so it even brings people who typically don't golf into our golf course, or don't golf often, maybe. Our largest outing is the Josh Jasmine Memorial Scholarship Golf Outing, and they have 144 players yearly. Our county tournament, I'm sure you've all heard about it. It is a premier amateur event in the county. We pull all the best players from all the local clubs. It has a very rich history. Lee Thompson from MLive has helped us track that back to 1922 with all the winners. And the tournament started in 1922. It moved to the golf course in 1968, and it's been held there ever since. If you'd like to know the list of winners, they are located on our website all the way back from the beginning. The 94th Annual Bay County Championship is August 3rd and 4th. We do limit it to 144 players, and it is an incredible 2-day event that is wonderful for our course and is very, very, very popular among all of the local golfers. People schedule their vacations around the county tournament. Right, so the women's senior and super senior tournament is going to be August 10th and 11th. The seniors, we usually have about 70 players. Super seniors, 25 or more players. We have the women's tournament when there's enough interest. So not every year, but anytime we get enough interest, we hold the women's tournament. So we participate in the Hallett Cup. It's been going on for the last 12 years. It's an annual event honoring the late local golfer Harry Hallett. The Bay County Golf Course has a team. This is our 2018 team right here. We have 12 players on our team, and the Saginaw Valley Public Golf Course has 12 players. It's a team tournament. So it's featuring 24 of the top players from our area. It's a 2-day event, one at our course, one at theirs. And in 2018, our team was victorious. We had the trophy in our pro shop for the year. Unfortunately, last weekend, Saginaw Valley brought that back to their course, but we'll get it back next year. So, all right, so we've talked a lot about local we talked a lot about improvements that we've had in the last few years, and here's just kind of a list of them. We purchased 20 new golf carts a couple years ago, which is incredibly appreciated by the golfers. We replaced a tractor and a rough mower due to failure. We've had new roofs on the pro shop, the maintenance barn, and the cart barn. We painted the cart barns. We painted the bathrooms on the course. We refurbished the picnic tables and benches. We updated the pro shop due to water damage, and the insurance covered that. We have additional tee markers. They're going to be gold. We started doing pin placement information for golfers. Late last year, we aerated the greens, tee boxes, and fairways. We cleaned out the pond on 18. We eliminated an unsightly brush pile that has been piling up for 20 years or so. And we built some sand storage bins. So we've really been able to do quite a few improvements at the course to make it the place that golfers want to be. So I know we'll be talking about this a little later, but you have seen these pictures. This is the pond progress that Nick took the beginning of July. So just for those viewers at home, we have a contract. We'll get $1 per cubic yard. They should be completed this fall. They're hoping September 1st. The revenue will be coming into the golf course fund. The slope exceeds the standards for walkability. We have 7 other ponds on the course, and we will be maintaining this just as we do the others. And there will be a fence at the road by the maintenance barn. So Rochelle's going to be talking to you a lot about the financials of the golf course, but I just kind of wanted to talk about the statistics. So in 2018, we did 21,895 rounds of golf. Rounds equal people, right? 17,398 carts were rented. So we have 79.46% of our golfers that are renting a cart. And that's when I said the golf carts are so appreciated. That's why a big, massive majority of our golfers are renting carts, right? And we had 102 memberships. Weather-wise in 2018, we had an incredible start. We got a lot of rain in August. But still had a pretty good year. So at the point of sale system, I think you guys remember that we had a new point of sale system put in the beginning of 2017. It's really improved our ability to analyze our numbers and our reporting features. So through our point of sale system, we brought in $450,000. Of that in 2018, $229,000 was greens fees, $118,000 was for carts, and $66,000 was for memberships. So just to compare that to 17, we did $449,000 in revenue. We had 22,163 rounds, 17,315 carts rented, 96 memberships, and 78% of our golfers rented a cart. So with that, I am going to hand the presentation over to Rochelle from Finance, who's going to be presenting the financials. And she'll talk to you exactly about how that works, and I'll be here if you have any questions.
Hi, I'm Rochelle from Finance, if you guys don't know, and just wanted to give you guys a rundown of the financials for 2018. The reason we have to come to you so late with this information is because we just closed the books at the end of June of 2019. So we were actually still making adjustments and changes all through June for the golf course. So the county is set up with different types of funds. We have the general fund, special revenue funds, internal service funds, and enterprise funds, which just account for the golf course and other business type activities, which just means that these funds should be mostly primarily run through the user fees and charges for services. So this slide here is pulling directly from our audited financial statements. So in the audit, the golf course is identified separately. So it's really easy to see the numbers that happen each year.
Not so easy to see them on the screen.
No, I'm sorry, I thought they were gonna be brought right up in front of you.
We're good. We're good.
Yeah, okay. So the first slide here that I'm showing you is the balance sheet for the golf course. Because it's an enterprise fund, everything is individually recorded for the golf course. The first number here that you're seeing is our current assets, our cash equivalents, our inventory that they have at the pro shop. And we also identify their short-term liabilities. So in essence, these short-term assets need to be able to cover our short-term liabilities according to our auditors. So we always want to make sure that the current assets exceed the current liabilities. You'll see that sometimes we'll have to do a year-end transfer from general fund into the golf course if that doesn't match. And the net position at the end is how they stand at the end of the year. So the next page that's in the audit is how they did during the course of the year. So what their revenues and expenditures are. So you can see that their total operating revenues for the golf course was the $446,000. The total operating expenditures was the $519,000. Also included as an expense, but a non-operating one, is the transfer that we did from the golf course back into general fund for the money that they had borrowed in the previous year. So that comes in as a credit. At the end of the year, for cash purposes, we had to transfer $41,000 from general fund into the golf course to get them through to the end of the year, and also until they started opening up, so they weren't in negative cash at the end of the year. And again, that led us to the net position at the end of the year of just over $300,000. So there is a spreadsheet that I compile monthly, and you don't have to read these numbers. It goes back from 1993 is when my predecessor, I believe, started filling this out. But this is updated monthly based on what is happening in our general ledger. So I take the numbers that we're recording for revenues and expenditures, balance sheet activities, and I update this and send it around to make sure that throughout the course of the year, people are updated on how the financials are going. This is a close-up of maybe some more important information. So for 2018, you'll see that same $446,000 for revenue. So like it was in the audit, that $446,000, this just gives everybody a better breakdown of how those revenues are coming in. So obviously the biggest one for green fees, the rents and royalties are the rentals for the golf carts. Same thing with operating expenditures. So for 2018, there's that $519,000 for operating expenses. This is broken down better so you can kind of see where the expenses are going. Unlike the general fund, like with the Civic Arena or Pinconning Park, we charge the golf course for indirect costs, which go back into the general fund. The utilities and supplies are also identified separately so we can maintain that budget. And then the depreciation is just that year's worth for their capital equipment that are still being depreciated.
Other services
Mm-hmm.
for the 36.
For the golf carts that they have to bring in addition for the tournaments. Tournament expenditures are in there.
So the carts that we rent.
The carts that we rent.
I'm assuming that what we.
Yep, that
make
we bring in
revenue-
for additional tournaments,
Right.
yep.
Well, we're not losing money on renting those carts, correct?
No, no, we bring those in because we're making additional money on those cart rentals.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Lutz.
Oh, I'm sorry. So what is the big jump in indirect costs from 59,000 in 2017 to 90,000 in 2018?
Well, in previous years, if you go back, more standardly, they were around the $80,000 mark. And what happened is when we have an influx or a reduction in indirect costs for a given year, there's a 2-year adjustment that we have to go in there and correct it so that we make sure over time that the golf course is being charged correctly for their overhead, which is the central service department. So when we go in there, the reduction there for years 16 and 17 that you're looking at is because we had charged them at an increased rate for prior years, so that reduction was kind of a smoothing effect that brought down their costs.
Commissioner Durant?
That was exactly the same question, so I'm all set. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. So again, on this balance sheet, at the very bottom of my spreadsheet that I put together each month is the total fund equity. So that's where the golf course stands at the end of the year. And of that, 301,000, you'll see that the 245,000 is what we're saying is tied up in our capital assets out there, which is our total assets less accumulated depreciation. The 48,000 is what we're saying that we have to hang on to for retirement for the employees that are at the golf course. And then the 7,900 is the unrestricted or the available assets. So this is something else that our auditors look at each year, and this is something that the finance department keeps a lookout for to make sure that if this number is in the negative, like it was in 2017, that our current assets still outweigh our current liabilities. So in 17, we had to make sure that that was the case. We did that transfer. In 2018, we didn't have to do that at year end. The year end transfer was for cash purposes. So as I said, we kind of move money back and forth with board approval at the end of each year based on if the golf course needs money for year-end purposes. So this started back in 2015 when they borrowed $50,000, so we weren't in a negative retained earnings. In 2016, they were able to pay it back and not borrow any additional money. In 2017, they did a budget adjustment and borrowed $80,200 for the golf carts that they purchased. They paid that back in 2018, but then further in the year, they did need to pull back an additional $41,000 from the general fund. So as we stand right now, the general fund is due $41,000 from the golf course, and that is anticipated to be paid back later on this year. And that's where we're at.
Questions? Commissioner Durant?
Thank you. Is there a way that you could furnish the board what the amount of discounts are given to like senior citizens with our software and having on a round of golf?
Oh, I'm sure we could pull that from the point of sale system.
Well, I'm just looking for maybe how many people and possibly the total amount of what the discount was. Thank you.
By discount, just to clarify, seniors have a approved rate on the fee schedule that is slightly lower than people who are not seniors, right?
Senior and military.
Senior and military rate. So you're saying a discount, but it is a approved rate on the fee schedule. Just to clarify.
Great. That's what I'm looking for.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Well,
Commissioner?
not for Michelle, for Kristen. Seeing that we showed the picture of the golf course pond that we're digging, my question is, how much money are we projecting that we're going to get for putting that pond in? Because it looks like it's deeper than what we thought it was going to be.
I don't believe that to be true. We have a signed contract for 104,000 cubic yards. We can go up to 155,000 because they have the DEQ permit. They have already talked about cutting us a check for $30,000 as a first installment of a payment. I would anticipate that it's a guess, right? Because they have to do a survey in the beginning, they have to do a survey at the end. It's $1 per cubic yard. I would say we're going to probably be anywhere between like 80 and 100,000 would be my guess.
Okay.
but again, I can't tell you for sure.
And I know that we discovered, or they discovered when they were digging a fuel tank, correct?
Yes, and I believe that we are addressing that in the next budget item, so if,
Okay.
Do
then
we-
We'll come back to it.
okay.
Thank you.
Any other question? I have a couple.
Don't have a question, Mr. Chairman. Just want to thank Rochelle and Kristen and Dan for the great work that's going on at the golf course. And by listening to our golfers, I think even though we've had terrible weather this season and launching the golf season, that the golfers I talk to are very excited about the changes, appreciate it. And again, we want to emphasize to those people that golf, because there's rumors, about the pond, those expenses will go into a capital fund, or the proceeds will go into a capital fund, so that in the future, when equipment needs to be replaced or whatever, then we can utilize that and keep the golf course more stably funded. So just wanted to thank everyone for the presentation, and so we continue to work at it incrementally to try to get it up to standard. So thank you for the
Thank you.
great job. And thank Jeremy as well.
Any other questions? I have some questions. The golf course fund, why is the revenue from the clay going to the golf course fund instead of the general fund? I guess I don't understand that.
By resolution, it's going into the golf course fund by the resolution that was passed late last year. So, it's also on golf course, the resolution says it's going into the golf course fund that was passed.
Well, I can't believe we did that. The other question is, I kind of like a count on how many of our golfers don't pay a discount. I mean, are 50% of the golfers paying a discount, or are 10% of the golfers paying a discount? Or it seems like, we had a discussion at the last board meeting, and there was a lady that addressed us, and it was, she was part of the
Well, she was from
facility, I
the
think,
medical care facility.
And she had been drawing a discount for whatever it was, she said 8 years or whatever. And I got to thinking, and then I think our personnel directors talked about, well, that was a resolution that was created a while back, and basically however it was, the wellness was getting, no, it wasn't the wellness, it was.
No, this is no discount to anyone outside of Bay County is included in any wellness initiative that we have.
No.
Wellness initiatives are limited simply to Bay County proper employees.
And I guess that I understand that, but I guess the usage of the golf course makes me wonder about how much wellness people are getting as they're driving a golf cart around. Golf is, I play the game, so I know that walking, I get my exercise. I know that sitting in the cart, it's usually an elbow exercise. So I'm
Well,
just wondering, maybe if there's a flavor for addressing that a little bit. If more people that are golfing are getting discounts than people not getting discounts, and we seem to be struggling, nothing with our employees, the guys all do a great job out there. But you know what? We can't stop rain sometime. We can't stop when spring starts, when winter starts. We can't stop any of that stuff. So my question is why, I would like to have that information, because I think we're shorting ourselves for a service that's given to the residents of Bay County, and for a large percentage of people that are paying not the full rate, and I think we need to relook that. Yes, Krista.
May I, sir? Just a few things. So, first of all, you say discount. I just want to clarify, there is a regular rate, there's a senior military rate that is approved by the board. It's not a discount, that is the rate. That is the rate, right? We absolutely can print you any report that you want. we will get that for you. Last week, when a woman came in and told you guys about a discount, on the fee schedule approved by the board in the budget every year is an employee wellness fee. It is a walking fee. So if you are a Bay County, if you work for Bay County proper, meaning under the elected officials, the county executive or the elected officials, you can get this rate on Sundays, Sunday evenings and Fridays as approved by the board. This person, we made a mistake. This person said they were a Bay County employee. What they meant was they were a Bay County Medical Care Facility employee, and we figured out our mistake and we changed it, right? And so if you guys decide to change that, or we can do that, but there is no, I don't really care for the word discount. It seems improper. We are charging what is on the fee schedule. So it is approved by the board. So we can tell you who gets the senior rate, we can tell you who gets the regular rate, we can tell you who gets the junior rate, right? But it is all on the fee schedule and it is all approved. So, did I answer all of the questions? I'm sorry. I think so. But, and we can get you all of those informations, but no one is just getting a discount willy-nilly, right? So, I wanted to clear that up.
Commissioner Lutz.
And I may be wrong, but when she was talking, it sounded like she golfed more than Sundays and, Fridays. She was golfing every day.
She doesn't golf every day, does she? She doesn't golf every day, no.
It sounded like she did.
We actually don't have very many county employees that use it. We are hoping to get more county employees to use it. It is, like I said, a walking fee that is approved by the board at certain times of the week because they are historically low use times. And we want to get the wellness policy that is approved by the board. These people receive health insurance, right? So we want to encourage them to be healthy. And that, again, is also approved and signed by the board. So.
Jim.
Yeah, I believe Commissioner Lutz, when Ms. Bublitz contacted me, she did indicate the discount applied on Fridays and Sundays. Is that your understanding too,
Yes.
Dan? So it's not 7 days a week. But, yeah, it sounds like she's an avid golfer, and she did like getting those discounts on those 2 days. But that's an issue that we, remember how long ago the board approved that policy on the rates? Does anybody have any? That could be addressed by the board.
Quite a
in the
few years
future.
ago. That I have a signed document from quite a few years ago that we've been going off of.
So seniors and veterans.
Seniors and veterans have a fee schedule that's approved by the board that is slightly less than the regular fee. Every year in the county budget, there is a fee schedule that gets approved. There is a regular rate and there is a senior military rate. And the senior military rate is obviously a little less than the regular rate. There's also a junior rate, which is standard for golf courses. These rate differentiations is standard for golf courses.
Any other questions? No? Thank you both very much. Okay, corporate counsel, we're going to have an update by Amber on the contract with Fisher in Bay County. Oh, yeah.
I'd like to make a motion to
You see?
receive her report.
Is that support? Then moved, supported. We receive, any discussion? Commissioner Krieger?
So this would be the opportunity for me to ask about the tanks, or tank.
After you vote to.
After we receive this. All in favor, signify by your sign.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, carried. Now, Amber.
Talk to me about the tank.
That's me. Actually, there is no tank, so yeah, everyone can rest assured there is no tank. At the time that the company started digging for the soil that they were going to be excavating off of the property, they had soil samples taken from AKT Peerless, and an evaluation was done to make sure that the soil that they were removing was going to be appropriate for the job that they needed the material for. And it appeared that the soil was in fact appropriate. So Fisher Contracting started digging pursuant to the contract, and after they hit a certain depth, they noted that there was a change in the soil that they were excavating, and they noted with a change in the soil that it might mean a problem or it might not mean a problem, but in order to be abundantly cautious, they had AKT come in and take additional soil samples. And AKT did do those soil samples and determined that there was some minimal contamination due to the fact that there was a natural gas well that was installed on the property in the early 1940s that operated for a period of about 2 years. And the area that the area that Fisher was excavating was the slurry pit for when they drilled that well. And what a slurry pit is when they're drilling down, they have to pour lubricant down the hole along with the drill, and it brings that material back up along with it brings up soil, it brings up shards of rock, it will bring up that lubricant, and what it does is it overflows from the hole and it comes down into what they call a basin, or what I'm calling a pit, a slurry pit. And then they take that liquid, they pump it back up, they pump it back down in the hole, and they continue to do that until they hit whatever it is that they're looking for. So if they're looking for natural gas, if they're looking for oil, as soon as they hit, then they clear out the slurry pit. What happened here is this is the remnant that was left in the slurry pit. AKT made a determination that approximately 300 cubic yards of this material, which they considered contaminated because it did not meet consumers' requirements for soil that was going to be used on their property, needed to be excavated, dug out, and it needed to be disposed of appropriately. So they did contact the White Feather landfill. White Feather landfill got a report from AKT Peerless as to what contaminants they found in the soil. Because it was a low level of contaminant, they did agree that they would accept those 300 cubic yards for a certain cost. Fisher Contracting informed us that they would not charge us for the excavation. They would not charge us for any labor hours of digging the material out. The only thing that they would charge us for would be the cost of the rental of the trucks in order to transport the material to the White Feather landfill. And they would also charge us for the cost that White Feather was charging to dispose of the soil. They were also stated that they would be willing to split that fee that they had to pay AKT when AKT came back in to test the contaminated soil, that they would be willing to split that fee with us as well. They estimated for us that the cost of the total removal, transport, disposal of everything would be approximately $15,000. So we actually kind of lucked out that it was found where it was when it was, because we ended up not having to pay as much to remove. The contamination was not substantial enough that it targeted or triggered any necessity to get the Michigan Department of Environmental Quality involved. AKT said that we have followed all of the required specifications for disposing of the material, and it appears as of this morning that they have actually removed all of the contaminated soil from that slurry pit, and we are just waiting for final testing from AKT to state that the site is clean.
So we'll call them rumors that there was actually a tank.
No
It's
tank.
not a tank.
No, there's a tank across the street that's currently a currently operating oil well,
But not
but
ours.
nothing was dug up. No.
Very good.
Nope.
Thanks for the clarification.
Yep, absolutely.
Motion to receive would be in order.
So moved.
Support.
And move and support, and any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by the usual sign.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, carried. From the Office of Assigned Counsel, the May report. Motion to receive would be in order.
Support.
And move and support, all in favor signify by the usual sign. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, carried. There are no referrals. Unfinished business. New business. Miscellaneous. Announcement. Commissioner Lewis.
Yeah, since everybody else has been announcing their, things going on, I would be remiss if I didn't bring up the Munger Potato Festival. That's coming up July 25th through the 28th. But just little bit away. They have a lot of things going on, you know. Thursday, they got a figure 8 race, and then, of course, we're doing the king and queen. Friday, they got another figure 8 race. They're big in figure 8 races out there. They have a big track. And then Saturday, they have another one, of course. And then Sunday is a big parade with the chicken barbecue, you know.
Will they have potatoes?
I believe they'll have to do some tacos, yeah. Or spuds or whatever you like. So feel free, Thursday 4 to 11, Sunday, let's see, it's noon to 8. And of course Saturday, the big day, 12 noon to 11 p.m. So come on out to Munger Potato Festival. 65th annual.
Potatoes.
Commissioner Begic.
Recently returned from Clark County, the National Association of Counties meeting. The Health Steering Committee is one that I'm on, and Ruth McAlpine was out there from the Bay Medical Care Facility. Been trying to get this resolution through for the last 3 meetings about patients over paperwork. Moving to try to maybe get rid of unnecessary paperwork so people can take care of patients instead of staring at their computer all the time. They got it through, finally got it through. There's a state association that was pushing it also, and they got that through the Health Policy Committee. I went to a Veterans and Military Service Committee meeting, talked about some of the benefits for veterans and some of the programs that are available out there. They had some election of officers and other programs to go to. It's a good program. That was it.
Thank you, Commissioner Begic. Any other announcements? Seeing none, motion to adjourn. Been moved, supported, all in favor, signify by the usual sign. Aye. Same sign opposed. Adjourned.